Hello everyone and welcome you to Module 6, Activity Adaptation. In this module, we are going to explore some methods and techniques to adapt the teaching and learning activities in the textbook and the lesson plan. By the end of this module, you will be able to first, understand the roles of textbook in the language program. Second, apply some techniques to evaluate the textbook. And third, monitor the use of the adapted material. First, before looking at the techniques to adapt the activities in the textbook, let's define the roles of textbook in general. The textbook plays an important role in teaching and learning. It represents a useful resource for both teachers as a course designer and learners as persons who are acquiring the English language. First, textbooks are the key components in the language program in terms of content and skills. According to Grade in 2000, the textbook is a book used as a standard source of information for formal study of the subject and an instrument for teaching and learning. Second, textbooks are used as a supplement for teachers' instruction. It should be regarded as one of the many resources teachers can draw upon in creating an effective lesson and may offer a framework of guidance and orientation. Additionally, textbooks are a major source of language contact besides teachers. It is not only the teachers who have a significant impact on the use and modification of textbooks. The learner's reaction to textbooks needs to be taken into consideration as well. For the learners, the textbook is one of the most important sources of contact they have with the language. It is a framework or guide that helps them to organize their learning. It is helpful to involve students in the process of adapting textbooks. Consequently, they would feel that their needs are respected, and they would feel much more motivated to successfully finish the course. Last, the textbook provides confidence and security for an inexperienced teacher who finds adapting existing textbooks challenging, especially for tailored work-related courses. It is necessary to emphasize that no ready-made textbook will ever fit perfectly every language program. There is no ideal textbook, ideal for every teacher, ideal for every group of learners, and ideal in every teaching situation. Many teachers are required to use textbooks and are bound to the textbook in its existing form. Since this simplifies class preparation for teachers, this is acceptable for some teachers who eventually begin to over-rely on textbooks and decide to follow the textbook closely, making no or only small excessive changes and additions. On the other hand, some teachers reject the textbook approach to learning and wish to make substantial changes to the textbook they need to use. Now, after reviewing some major goals of textbooks in general, we are going to list out some advantages of textbooks as follows. The first advantage of textbooks is that they provide a syllabus for the course because the authors of the syllabus have made decisions about what will be learned and in what order. Second, they provide security for the students because they have a kind of a rough map of the course. They know what to expect and they know what is expected from them. Third, it provides a set of visual activities, readings, etc., and so saves the teacher's time in finding or developing such material. The next advantage of textbooks is that they provide teachers with a basis for assessing students' learning. Some textbooks include tests or evaluation tools. Next, it may include supporting materials like teacher's guides, CDs, worksheets, and videos. The next advantage of textbook is that it provides consistency within a program across a given level if all teachers use the same textbook. And last but not least, if textbooks follow a sequence as within a series, it provides consistency between levels. On the other hand, textbooks also have limitations, which can lead to teachers and learners' dissatisfaction within the course. The content or examples may not be relevant or appropriate to the group, and they may not reflect the students' needs, since textbooks are often written for global markets and often do not reflect the interests and needs of students. The next drawback of textbooks is that they may contain inauthentic language, since text, dialogues, and other aspects of content tend to be specifically written to incorporate teaching points and are often not representative of real language use. Next, the content in a textbook may not be at the right level of the student. The next disadvantage is that there may not be the right mix of activities, like too much of this piece of information or too little of that piece. There may be too much focus on one or more aspects of language and not enough focus on others. Or it may not include everything teachers want to include. The sequence of units is not in accordance with the real work-related needs. Next, the activities, reading, visuals, etc. may be boring. The next disadvantage is that the timetable for completing the textbook or parts of it may be unrealistic. And next, the textbook doesn't take the student's background knowledge into account. Well, the last but not least, textbooks may be too expensive for students and teachers. Adult educators choose textbooks using a variety of methods. Some teachers say they can make decisions by simply flipping through the pages to evaluate the artwork, topics, page design, or charts. Other teachers tend to carefully examine the scope and sequence and teacher guide to determine if the text will meet learners' needs, as well as coordinate with program curriculum standards and assessment requirements. While there may not be the perfect book for all learners and instructors, there can be selection criteria that help in deciding how to choose a good textbook. The first criterion is that the book contains learner-centered materials and content. The second, the book contains teacher-friendly instructions and reference materials. Principles of effective instruction are the basis for format, context, and design, including artwork, layout, font style or font size, etc. The next criterion is that language skills are incorporated throughout instruction. Next, principles of education are implemented in lesson format, context, and design. The fifth criterion is that the textbook series is affordable and can be used as a non-disposable resource if possible. Now, let's move on to how to evaluate textbooks. Here are some factors you can base on to decide whether to use a textbook: the program, teachers, learners, content, and pedagogical design. The program here refers to the content of the course in terms of topics, skills, etc. that the course is aimed at providing for learners. Teachers are the ones to select the textbook and sometimes with the learners. So the textbooks must suit them in terms of levels, the appropriateness of activities and tasks, their interests, and even their budget. The content of the textbook must also be relevant to their needs and appeal to their interests. Lastly, the pedagogical design of the textbook must be taken into consideration, which is reflected through the system of teaching and learning activities, the integration of skills, and the sequence of the lesson. In conclusion, in this video, we have reviewed some basic information about the roles of textbooks, their advantages and disadvantages, and considered some aspects of a good textbook. In the next video, we are going to explore the topic of activity adaptation in depth. Thank you for your attention and goodbye for now.